How's it going, everybody? DJ K-Dub Omaha, Wired Access Podcast with the All Access Granted, where we're covering a new series, part of the show, where we come out, get raw and real with the athlete in their elements, wherever they decide. Today we have AJ Jackson of Millard South Patriots, 2026 graduate, who just made a big decision on verbally committing to Iowa State. And what I like about this series is we're at a place where the athlete decides and we get some access to kind of the behind the scenes. Obviously you chose a weight room, which is a big part of not just sports, but I think also mental part of sports, right?
Yeah.
You know, you guys just won the championship, so congratulations on that. Been a long time for Millard. Man, what's the year been like for you?
Just like the football season?
Yeah, just in your junior year, what's it all been like for you?
I'd say it was a great year. You know, I played just coming out playing both sides of the ball. It was real different than my freshman and sophomore year. Just having a different mentality, being able to go both ways, it's, I don't know, it kind of takes a lot, but it's just kind of just shows like how much I care for the boys and just what I'm willing to do to go out there and win. But it was a great season. We opened up with Basha. I feel like that was a big part of our season to end up going to win the state championship. I mean, you go out there and you see a lot of different talent, so I feel like coming back here and it kind of sets you up nicely just to go out there and compete against different components and different skill sets that you don't always see in Nebraska. So I feel like that got us really prepared to kind of just come back and roll through the season.
Well, I like that you brought that up because that was like a very unique experience, right? For those that know, prep high schools normally do that stuff, right? You know, that's kind of their jab. Locally, we don't.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden this year, you and Creighton Prep, you know, Millard South and Creighton Prep took that role.
Yeah.
And you guys really started something awesome. Obviously, we all enjoy the basketball, right? We know that there's the hoop series that goes in the middle of Nebraska and people travel from Colorado, all that, but football has not had the love.
Yeah.
And for you guys to experience it and travel to Arizona, just talk about just that part of your, like, even just building up knowing that's what your first part of your season was going to be.
I feel like it kind of set the bar high, like in the summer, just knowing that at the time they're like a real high-ranked team. I think they lost in the finals the year before that in like one of the top brackets in Arizona. So, I mean, we knew what we were setting ourselves up for. We wanted to go down there and compete. And I feel like we definitely got that. Even though we lost, I feel like it was just more than a loss. You go out there and you kind of learn a lot about your team because we had a lot of seniors, like from my sophomore to junior year, so it was kind of a new team, so it's obviously different. Coming out week one, you got people that haven't started before, you know, you kind of got to build that team chemistry. So I feel like it helped us a lot.
It's a preseason game with a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Some people always look for that preseason game. It's got to be someone we could beat up. It's got to be an early game versus an opponent that we know we can handle what we need to handle. Your coach took the challenge and decided to take you guys down to Arizona. What all do you remember of that trip down to Arizona with your team? What's some of the important factors you think really grew that bond of who Millard South was as a team?
I feel like we always just had that mentality going down there, like it was a business trip. Like that's something Coach said all the time, like we were down there to play football. Like it wasn't like a vacation or anything. But obviously we roomed with each other, so that obviously just creates that team chemistry. There was a lot of team bonding down there. I think we left Wednesday. So, I mean, it's just a way to get the team together as a whole. And
what was that week like for you? So you guys just got back into school, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are a week or two into school.
Yeah,
You're making this trip.
Yeah.
What is that week like for you? How do you prepare yourself for Wednesday? And then what all do you remember as far as the trip leading up to the game?
So we practiced Monday, Tuesday, just like our regular schedule. I think we left after school Wednesday. So I know Coach wanted us to get a practice down there in Arizona because obviously one of the biggest battles was going to be the weather. It's way hotter down there. So we got down there Wednesday. I want to say we practiced Thursday, which it was hot. Like Thursday practice.
And explain that hot compared to our hot, right? Because we get humidity hot.
Yeah,
That's hot.
It's just like dry heat. Like,
yeah.
you breathe. And it was like a lot of our players had cotton mouth. But, oh yeah, another thing, just all week, just make sure you're hydrated. I mean, we didn't have too many people going both ways, so it wasn't like as much of a problem. But just coach really pushed us like the whole week to stay hydrated, liquid IV, stuff like that. So we got down there, practiced Thursday just to get us kind of acclimated to the temperature, and then we just knew it was business on Friday.
So you get to the game day Friday. What's kind of the just even your own personal mentality that you're thinking? What other sports might have led up to things that you could kind of think that have put you in that type of element? Because yes, it is football, but it's football versus people you'll never ever maybe see again unless it's on a higher level field, or it's people that you don't have to go, man, I got to scout them, I got to do all this. It's just let's go play ball.
Yeah, I feel like it just comes with having the mentality as a team. Like you said, there's no scouting, there was no games before that. It's like season opener. It's just you playing ball against another team. So I feel like that was another component too. But just knowing that we all have the guys that want to go out there and compete, like regardless who we're playing or what the outcome's going to be.
What do you think that did for Millard South, for Omaha, for Nebraska? What do you think that just being able to go down there and challenge it and actually play and feel like, hey, we're going to be someone, we're going to do something. What do you think that did, not just for your school, but even as a community?
Yeah, like for Omaha, like you said, there's basketball doing it, there's other sports doing it, but I think that was probably the first time football did it. And then, like you said, there was Prep did it, and then Millard North, they didn't go anywhere, but they had a Colorado team come here. So I feel like it's just kind of getting exposure to Nebraska football. I mean, Nebraska football has a lot of good players, but it's kind of just the exposure. Like, I feel like getting those players out there to go play that good competition, it definitely put Nebraska on the map. And then, like, this year we're going to Vegas, so I feel like that's another good opportunity for the same thing.
Man, another trip. So you're down there, you're playing these players. What's your feeling of your game that you felt like you did and were able to contribute? And what do you think is something that you said, you obviously, at a school like Millard South, you normally don't play both ways. There's so many kids.
Yeah.
But coach has his reasons, and he knows why he wants to do, whether it's the effort, the amount that you can do, and what you can take. What was that like for you first game of kind of just finding your way?
Yeah, it was definitely different. I mean, playing both ways, there's a lot of mental battles you got to face, a lot of physical battles. I mean, your body's getting beat up twice as more, you're twice as tired, and then to go down there in Arizona, it was definitely a challenge. But like you said, we didn't have a lot of players last year play both ways, but I feel like Millard South, they always push kids to play both ways because, I mean, it's wherever you can go in the field, and they want kids to play and go in the field and show what they can do on both sides of the ball.
What's your love? Is it offense or defense?
Oh, I like offense. I've always played receiver. I mean, like when I was young, obviously, like you played both ways just because that's how it was. But I don't know. I always felt like I was a receiver. I didn't start playing. I actually played like both until my freshman and sophomore year.
Yeah.
I didn't really play safety because I don't know. I mean, I just didn't really have the size.
What do you think was your biggest challenge with taking over that safety role?
Probably just being able to step up, be a leader. I mean, safety, you're the last guy back there. You in the middle backer in our defense, you're kind of the voice of the defense. You got to communicate to everybody. And then just being able to take it in, like, you have to make plays on both sides of the ball. Like, there's no kind of breaks.
Well, and you also got to make a big decision, right? You got to show how much team player you are.
Yeah.
You want to score a touchdown just as much as Hill wants to score a touchdown. Yeah. But you respect the fact of what the team goal is. And I think seeing someone like Saquon Barkley, who did it for the Eagles, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you know, but he was up for getting the rushing.
Oh yeah.
The rushing record.
Yeah.
Not just a rushing title, rushing record. And he decided to take the week off, as his coach asked, for the Eagles to obviously get to the Super Bowl and win. And obviously it turned out better for yourself where you're able to play both ways. What's kind of your thoughts on being that team player? And what's some of the things that you have to kind of maybe oversight or oversee that not everybody can adapt to? And it probably isn't easy, right?
Yeah.
When you're so used to, I'm a playmaker too, coach.
Yeah, like you said, just accepting that team role. Like, I mean, obviously you want to go out there and do the best you can and perform on both sides, but obviously the long goal is to win. And whether that's just winning regular season games or, like you said, going to the championship. But some things that, like you said, people oversee is just, like, you're not always going to be like playing both sides takes a toll on you, like fatigue. Like, you can't always go out there and just, like, make play after play after play, especially on both sides of the ball. So.
Oh, you're not Travis Hunter, or as I say?
Nah.
Well, but how much more respect as a football player do you gain? I mean, I respect it just as I used to coach DBs, so I
Yeah.
respect it anyways. I mean, when you choose to be a DB, you're playing the hardest position anyone
Yeah.
because you're always guessing
Yeah.
what that receiver's going to do. And I'm not saying you don't do it at any other position. Get out of here with that. But the speed is different
Yeah.
because people go, because I coached at Omaha South for 8 years and I did DBs, and people are like, you're a big dude. You don't understand. I could teach you in the right position.
Yeah.
Your speed will make up and do what you do. As long as I teach you the right technique to get where you need to be, that's on you. But it's a whole nother beast being a defensive back.
You definitely do get a lot of respect. I mean, people like to say receivers are one of the easiest positions, but I mean, at the end of the day, you still have to go out there and make plays. So, I mean, not even just playing both ways, but just playing at a high level, like being able to go out there and be a big threat on offense and then being a big threat on defense to where it actually has an impact on your team, you're definitely getting a lot more respect.
Who on your team was probably one of your biggest shoulders that you can lean on and that kind of help you maybe get through some of the times that you might have beat yourself up or maybe didn't do the right thing and you're like, you just want to win, right? You
Yeah.
know? Who's probably someone that you look to on the team that was able to be that guy for you? Was there one?
It's a hard question. I don't know. I would just say all the guys. I mean,
Yeah.
we had a lot of depth, so that definitely helped. Like, we had me, Chase, Isaac, Amir, and Sean. So, like, even if I did need a break, there was, like, no doubt that there wasn't a guy behind me that was going to step up and, like, go out there and compete just like I did, if not more. So I'd just say, like, even the state championship, I went down, and the backup safety went down, but we had another guy step up, ready to go out there and compete and give it all for the team. So just being able to, just knowing that I can trust the guys around me and rely on the guys around me to produce.
Did you play this year having that mentality of knowing that practice was harder than games
Yeah.
for you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Would you say it's coach-led or player-led?
it's definitely coach-led. We have a high competitive, high-paced practice. So, I mean, I feel like practice should always be harder than games. So when you do get to the games, it's not like, oh, you didn't prepare for this or whatnot. But there's a lot of good guys on our team, a lot of competition. We're going good on good all the time. So, I mean, when you're facing that weekly, you kind of get out on Friday nights and it's just another day.
You said going good on good. You're going up against Jet. What is that like being the safety on practice of, I want it just as bad as he wants it?
Yeah,
What's that like? I mean, top in the state, we all know, and obviously getting just looks like yourself, and it's just eye-opening because if your defense could play as good off of the quarterback like that, it makes you that championship pedigree.
Yeah, practice is always challenging. I mean, he's a good quarterback. He makes a lot of good throws that a lot of other quarterbacks can't make. So even if the defense might be right there, it's just not much you can do about it. But he obviously, at the end of the day, it makes us all better. Just playing a top quarterback like that, and then, like I said, just when you go good on good all the time, weekly in practice, you come out on Friday nights, and I feel like that was a big part of our success.
What was AJ's biggest struggle in this junior year,
Do
do you think?
I would say probably just staying healthy. I mean, I would say in the past I haven't struggled with like as many injuries, but I mean obviously this year was different playing both ways. I tweaked my ankle a couple of times like early in the season, and you know that's kind of just something that stays with you the rest of the season, especially when you're going both ways. There's no time to really rest. So, and then obviously at the end of the year I had a pretty bad foot injury. So I'd say just being able to stay healthy and take care of my body a little better.
What do you think was the biggest success that you accomplished individually and then helped your team accomplish? Obviously the championship, but there's got to be other goal that you guys set there.
I would say just showcasing my talent on both sides. I mean, like I said earlier, just being able to go out there and like be a factor like on both sides, not just going out there and like playing, like actually having a strong role on the
Someone that you
offensive.
got to be accounted for, right?
Yeah,
They
like,
got to account
yeah,
for you on defense. Where's he
yeah,
lined up at?
yeah. So I'd say definitely that.
And then as a team, what do you think you guys accomplished besides the championship, which is the biggest thing?
Yeah, I'd say just making each other better. I mean, we had a couple seniors graduate, but we had a heavy junior class, so there's a lot of kids coming back. So at the end of the day, we want to keep competing and keep making each other better, so that we can all have success, like individually and obviously in November.
Recruiting process. Some good things, some bad things always go with it, no matter who you are, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's some people showing you love for one moment and then they're looking the other way for the next. What's one thing that you really felt has went great through the process, and what's one thing that you've taken in as a learning experience that you try to possibly also help others or someone that might check this out?
I would say just don't let it overwhelm you. I mean, like, it's a lot. Like, there's coaches calling, you gotta go get out to visits, you gotta like see what school's best for you. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand like how like stressful it can be sometimes. So just don't let it overwhelm you. But I mean, something that went well. It's always fun just to like be in the position, like to be able to go out to these schools and like be able to have options to pick where you want to go and play a sport that you've loved like ever since you were little. But I would say just when the time is right, like trust your gut. Like don't be scared to like if you know where you want to go to school, like that's where you want to go. So just don't wait on anyone but yourself.
Who was kind of some of your helping process through all this? So what's some of the guidance that you receive? I say it, I had 4 kids.
Yeah.
I didn't go to college for no sports. I didn't know how to guide. And that's kind of what has kind of led to even like this. Like, I just want people to see other people explain a little bit, because maybe they don't have a father, they don't have a mother, or
Yeah.
even a coach that's involved that much, because it's not the same
Yeah.
across the board. What was kind of your helpful hints through all this, and who's someone you looked up to and was able to help you?
I would say I was very blessed with the people I have around me, like whether that was my parents, Steve Warren, just being around Warren Academy. It brings a lot of like people who've been through the process. I mean, obviously we had Chase last year, a big time recruit. Like, I bet that was like real hard and real stressful for him. So just having people that have went through the process. I mean, like there's no one better to talk to than people who've actually been there and like have went through everything, the same thing that you're going through, if not more. But obviously my parents they play a big role, just helping me, getting me down there, so I can actually see the colleges and kind of experience and get a better feel for where I want to go.
Did you have to put out a lot of tape, reach out a lot yourself, or was it something that they kind of reached out to you?
Like you said, I would say a coach also played a big role. I mean, Coach Wiz did a great job with us. I feel like freshman and sophomore year, he did a good job of like putting our film out, getting coaches in here, watch us throw, watch us lift, stuff like that. So, like I said, I was just real blessed to be in the position I was in. Like, there was a lot of coaches around. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I just had to go out there and perform.
What do you remember about some of your visits before you made your decision? What's some of the things that you took in, and what's some of the things that really opened your eyes to the process maybe? And no places have to ever be talked about,
Yeah.
but just the process. Was there any ones that you felt like, man, they might not have been as genuine as they want you to feel? Because, of course, you're one athlete of a million, right? Don't get me wrong, there's not a million AJs.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of wide receivers or DBs that they could be looking at, and their timing to find you guys slims up. And I only say it from experience of talking to some other parents, but especially with this transfer portal and with all that, I can only imagine the stress that some of you guys have to go through, because I know one wanted his mom to go visit a place before he made his decision. And the head coach calls him that night and says, I need your decision now or else we're going to go elsewhere. Like, those are real scary things when you got transfer portal. Last of the COVID years are almost up, so all that extra. What kind of was some of your experience when you went out and about?
I would say just making sure you just have to imagine yourself like going to that school, because I mean, no matter the opinions other people have, like you're the one going there, you're the one putting in the work, you're the one actually going through it. So, like you actually have to like ask yourself, like, do I see myself going here? And then obviously there's a lot of schools, like whether a school offers you or not, like they have to show that you're a priority for them. And I feel like that was a big thing with Iowa State. Like they're always checking on me, just like kind of like the way they talk to you, just like putting you in a position of like where they would see you, like when you get there, like how, like where you would fit in. So just stuff like that, just the small things that people don't really always talk about, like not the facilities and all the cool stuff. Just like go where you're a priority.
All the
where you're
glitz and
wanted.
glamour, right?
Yeah.
Everybody gets the luxury look
Yeah.
every time you show up.
Yeah.
No matter what star, no matter what you are, as if you're visiting, they're going to show you, and then it's
Yeah.
like you have to distinguish what's real and what's
Yep.
something that could be just a facade.
Yeah.
How many visits did you end up doing?
So I went to a couple of junior days, like I would say KU. I went out to Northwestern. Earlier, I would say after my sophomore year, I got out to like Oklahoma, Mizzou. I would say, I went to Minnesota too, Iowa.
So you knew you kind of wanted to stay in the general area, be quick access, and that's always a mental thing, right? You got to go, do I want to stay close to home where family can come watch me? I could still have that quick ride home,
Yeah.
or do I want to venture out? Obviously, Northwestern's not close,
Yeah.
but it's still close enough. How was that kind of in your thought process?
Honestly, like before I was getting recruited, I wouldn't say like distance or anything was like real big for me, but I feel like that's kind of just how it planned out. Like the offers I got and the schools that recruited me were all kind of close. So, I mean, it definitely helps just knowing you're not going too far from home. But I wouldn't say it was like a real deciding factor or anything for me.
When you look at the projection of a lot of the athletes that have came out of Nebraska recently, and you see like Watts, who went to Notre Dame as a defensive back and defensive player, what's kind of your goal at the next level? Is it to continue to play both ways if possible? Is it, what's kind of the things that you might have even put out there if possible? And obviously you always have to respect the coaches, right?
Yeah.
You can't, you're just telling kind of your ideas and hoping it matches. But what was kind of your thoughts in your initial with Iowa State?
I feel like that was another big thing. Like when I went up there, that was the main question, just where they saw me, because during the recruiting process, they were talking to me. I mean, they initially offered me a receiver, but then I was talking to the safeties coach. I mean, I still do, but just asking them when I come, like if I were to come here, where they saw me, and they were real open. Wherever you want to start, that's where like we're gonna put you, because we feel like you can excel in both ways. So I feel like that was another big thing. I do want to play receiver at the next level and just excel at that.
When you look at a fellow one like Caprice, who decided Caprice Keith decided Iowa State, how does that kind of feel for you, knowing it's someone else local and you guys can work out together? You guys can really vibe together. You guys are both 2026s. I believe he's making a move from his previous school to go into Central for his senior season. And how important is that, or is that even a part of the journey?
I mean, obviously just knowing, like, there's a reason Iowa State, like, there's a reason he committed to Iowa State. Obviously, they're a good program, but I wouldn't say, like, just because he's local, but, like, just him as a player. I mean, you want to go to a program that you know is going to be strong and be able to develop you. So just knowing that there's someone else that sees the same vision, I mean, it kind of it has a good impact.
So going through this recruiting process, you have the injury, your championship game, which, like, I mean, it was such a blur. Like, you know, I was on the sideline as just covering it, and it was a blur. And I remember you getting hurt. I just don't remember all the way to your foot or what all happened.
Yeah.
What's kind of going through your mind at that time when you're thinking of your recruiting, thinking of the season, thinking of everything? Like, when you're not so injury prone and something like that happens, what's kind of going on in your mind, and how do you revert yourself to know that the journey is going to be okay for you and you're going to make whatever the best you can?
It was definitely hard. I mean, it wasn't, like I said earlier in the year, I had a couple ankle injuries, so I mean, it wasn't like a dramatic injury. I mean, it was just the way I got tackled. So I wasn't like on the field or anything laying down. I kind of just jogged it off. But I mean, I was trying to, I had a couple ankle injuries where, I mean, it was pretty severe pain, but then you kind of walk it off after a little bit, get taped up.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was trying to do that at halftime, do that on the sideline, but it just wasn't going. So it definitely hurt a little bit, just like you make it all the way through the season and then you get hurt last game of the year. But I mean, it wasn't ideal, but I'd rather get injured end of the year than like early in the season. At least I got to play out my whole season. So obviously when I went down to like a lot of the schools, I was injured. So but I would say no one like put it against me. Like a lot of athletes, they go through injuries, and like even some, like I would say, they said it was nice I went through it now, because I mean it's bigger than just how you physically come back. Like it can take a toll on you mentally, just being away from the sport that like football is like a big part of my life.
What was it like for when you were? I mean, you couldn't do what you want to do when you want to do it. I think that's probably the biggest mental part. Like, because like you said, you already had your season, so you didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
You've already done some recruiting, so you've already kind of got your hand in pocket and you can kind of talk. But the fact of AJ being able to do anything AJ wants to do to now you got to do this whole different path. What was kind of like that mental part? What did you find ways to help yourself get through those parts?
Yeah, like you said, that's definitely like one of the biggest factors. Just mentally, you go from like football being my number one priority, doing it all the time, every day, just kind of whenever I can, to like now I have to like just sit down. Like I got surgery right before winter break, so like it was kind of ideal. I was like in the house anyway, just being around. But I would say a big thing for me was just like going out to the practices and like just still keeping myself around the sport, because I mean, it got hard just like having to watch everybody. Like,
see, and I think that's like, those are the things that I really like getting to people. Like, they think it's easy, right? They're like, or when it happens to them, they're like, I don't have my outlet. What am I gonna do? I can't do this again. But when you have someone like yourself who is speaking, talking about it, it's just very good advocacy for the whole idea, because I've talked to many athletes. I mean, JoJo Doman went through 2 knee replacements, 3 different defensive coordinators. Like, just those mental things like that could really eat at you at a sport that you live, die, and you're looking to go to the next level.
Yeah.
So you to do it right before December or Christmas break. Of course, you normally play 7-on-7. What was that like for you to go, okay, this isn't my route, I'm not going to do that? How do you go through that part of it?
It was definitely hard. Like, I play with One Academy, and like, I don't even think I'll get to play a tournament with them this year. So it's like, you kind of go back and you're like, dang, last year you wouldn't have thought that would have been my last tournament. But it's just crazy how fast things can change. Like, don't ever take anything for granted, because, I mean, that was probably the last thing I thought would have happened. I didn't think it would have been like super serious, but I ended up having to get surgery, stuff like that. But like you said, just staying in it mentally, just knowing like I got surgery, so the whole point of the surgery was to fix my foot and make sure I'm gonna be there. So I feel like rather than coming back physically, just making sure like you come back confident in your ability, just knowing what you can do regardless of the bumps and bruises coming through the process.
Do you have anybody that's kind of gone through some injuries that's kind of helped you through this process, or who's kind of talked you through, or anybody?
I wouldn't say. Actually, Gabe, he had 2 season-ending injuries. His freshman year, I I think his freshman year he broke his ankle, and then sophomore year he like tore his ACL or something. So, I mean, that's obviously hard for him. Like, not one season-ending injury, but two. Like that just makes it even worse. So, and then just being able to see him come back and still be as dominant as he is, it kind of gives you that confidence as like, I mean, obviously you don't want to get injured. It's not ideal, but
for sure,
just seeing someone and knowing like at the end
they
of the
overcame
day,
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you look at this season, what do you think the senior class left you guys with, and how does that prepare you guys for next year?
I think they left us with a good foundation to come back and hopefully go back to back. I mean, we're a little junior heavy, but just like I said, just loving the guys around us, just playing for the guys around us. The seniors, there was some good leadership there. So just going out there and be able to perform for Millard South in general rather than individual players.
I like that. When you look at the coaching situation, it's not easy, right?
Yeah.
Coach Woods left a great mark on the school.
Mm-hmm.
Was this something you guys knew was a possibility? Was this anything, or was it, and how was it presented to you? I only asked, I just had Harper Murray on the regular show,
Yeah.
and she went through, her best friend, John Cook, and gets a coaching change. And I didn't think we were going to even do the episode because she just stopped answering. Because, there is a mental time or a thing that players have to go, okay, this was the guy that I was, calling my guy, and now how was that for you, and what was that process like?
It was definitely tough. Like I said, Wiz got here my freshman year. So we've been here. I've been here 3 years. That was his third year last year. I feel like he always pushed me. I mean, obviously there wasn't a lot of freshmen that came in and started Class A. So just knowing that he always trusted me, he always saw what I could be and always pushed me to be my full potential. So we didn't I didn't think he was going to leave this year. I don't think a lot of people on the team thought he was going to leave this year. I think that's just the way it kind of planned out. I mean, there was an opportunity. And he took it. I mean, I don't know if it was all football. I know his family, stuff like that. Going from Arizona to Nebraska, it's a big change. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but I mean, it happened. There's not much you can.
Did he have a talk with you guys prior? Was it where you guys or maybe a couple of you might have got a message before? Because obviously social media, dude, it goes too quick, and I think it ruins sometimes the experiences that you guys deserve.
Yeah.
Whether it is the respect of a coach, whether it is, that avenue.
I mean, there was obviously rumors about it, but there was no he didn't tell us in advance, because I feel like it was a sudden decision for him.
Gotcha.
He didn't plan on leaving this year. There was no I don't
something that led to it where he's writing's on the wall. I gotta go.
So, but he did talk to. He brought the football players to the lecture hall. It's a big classroom that we have here. I was actually in surgery. I went to surgery that morning, so I wasn't even at school that day. So I didn't get to hear it, but. He brought other guys in there, told him to his face. I feel like that's the best way you can do it.
For sure.
Put it straight.
Well, I mean, we just saw it with Bellevue West when their basketball coach retired.
Yeah.
Coach Woodard passed it down to Klein.
Yep.
And no one thought they could win last year, and all of a sudden they won last year. Now they didn't win this year, even though Robbie made a good effort to get them to the tournament again. But what is his plans for you guys? How's the new coaching stuff going? What's kind of the mental stuff and just the stuff that you guys are like, okay, we've been here before, we got this?
I feel like we have a really player-led team. We built a culture and a standard here. So I feel like regardless who the coach is, we're all going to come out here with the same goal every day, every year, no matter who we have leading us. A lot of the coaching staff stayed, besides obviously Wiz left, but everyone else on the coaching staff stayed. So I don't feel like there'll be much change there. So I feel like you kind of just got to accept it, move on, and just be focused on what the main goal is.
What are you looking to do this next year as far as with school and then preparing yourself for college? And what do you think is kind of your route that you're going to go over the summer? What are some things maybe the coaches might have said, hey, we need you to work on this?
Obviously, right now I'm just trying to get healthy, so just focus on that. Best, just making sure I'm available, making sure I come back to my strong self and my full self, and being able to provide. But obviously, there's always something you can work on. Just being able to perfect your craft. Just obviously knowing I plan to go play receiver in college, just sharpening that, getting bigger, faster, stronger. So just getting back to the basics, doing the small things right.
Have you thought about what you might want to do when you do go to college? What's the major you were looking for doing, or is it still? I mean, you're a junior, so there's still a lot of time, right? There's still a lot of, no one's pressured into nothing. But has that ever crossed your mind what you're thinking of?
Yeah, it does cross your mind. I mean, there's a lot of coaches, like, coaches come in, they ask you what you're going to major in, like, because certain colleges, they have their, like, main majors, like, something that they're good at. But I wouldn't say I've decided or anything. I mean, obviously, it's something I've thought about. Like, it's something you have to think about.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to school. you
Life
gotta
beyond
learn.
football?
Yeah. So,
Was there anything that you've ever dreamed of besides NFL or college life when it came to football?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I feel like as long as I can remember, I've been playing football. So,
Yeah.
I've always been around football. It's just being able to see people that I know go play at the next level. I feel like I was always surrounded by it. So, that's just always been the goal.
What's the senior goal? What's the things that you're looking to leave for the legacy when people remember AJ Jackson?
Just a player who's going to go out there and compete regardless. I mean, I'd say if you ask around, I feel like that's a big thing. Just there's a lot of competitive nature in me, whether that's football or not. Just like we have a lot of competitive stuff that we do here outside of football, but I feel like at the end of the day, you go out there and you compete. Just leave it all out there so you don't ever have any regrets on, oh, I should have did this or I should have did that.
How do you not get burnt out from football? What's your go-to? What's something you do?
I like to golf.
Okay.
There's a lot of, so when I was little, me and my grandpa lives like right across the street from, he lives in Lincoln.
Okay.
He lives like right across from Mahoney Golf Course. So he's actually a real good golfer. He won like there's like a senior league down there. So I know he won that a couple times. So he's real big into golf. Him and my dad, they used to always play golf. I used to go with them, be in the cart. It was some long days too. Like golf, it takes a while.
But it's a mental break,
Yeah.
right? It totally takes you
Yeah.
out of, you still got the competitiveness.
Yeah.
But it takes you away from the mental of, I have to know the play. I have to know, and you got to have those outlets in order to succeed, just in general, like not even just from football or anything. Like you have to have something that you feel like you can just go do if it was like the worst day that you could ever have. And you're like, I can go hit the ball around and have some fun. Well, that's always good. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate your story. I just appreciate you opening up about this last year. And I think that's more of what I'm always looking for with this new segment is just not so much the full life, but like this last year, your junior year is so impactful to where do you feel like having this decision made is going to change anything for you in your senior year? Some people, it relieves the stress. Other people, you have to perform at a higher level, right? Where they are like looking at you with a bigger magnifying glass.
Yeah. I feel like from the recruiting process and stuff like that, it relieves a lot of stress. But like you said, there's it just pushes you to work harder because I mean now there's a standard. I mean I wouldn't say the standards changed. I've always had the same standard of going out there, competing, giving your all, trying to be the best version of you that you can be. So I wouldn't say any of my goals have changed. I still want to go out there and perform at the highest level that I can.
When you look at your athletes above you, who's someone that you kind of look up to, whether it's in school, university style, as far as in college, NFL? Who's some athletes that kind of you like that's who you look at and that's kind of some of the things you want to resemble?
Like you said earlier, Travis Hunter. I mean, there's not a lot of other people that are going to obviously excel both sides of the ball like him, but I feel like he's definitely going to have a big impact on the game. I even see people like just like a lot of rumors now about college athletes working both sides. So, I mean, he's already had a good impact on the game, but just being able to see someone go out there and play both ways at the college level and like I said, just like actually be productive and not just going out there.
Not just playing the game.
Yeah.
See, and that's what I even push like on some of the Twitter stuff with people is the fact that when you see someone commit to somewhere where they could possibly, I mean, you look at a Nash Hutchmaker who did it for Nebraska, where he did wrestling and he did football, like two of the hardest sports and all this weight stuff, and then like it's okay to play not just multiple sports, but even two ways in the same sport and be able to be productive. Well, once again, AJ, I appreciate your time. Good luck this senior season, and of course, good luck at Iowa State and everything that has progressed for you and your family. And we'll be looking for you on the field. I'm looking forward to this year. We're going to be out on Fridays for sure. I know last year I chose Thursdays, but once again, we appreciate everybody that tunes in. This is, again, the new segment, Wired Access. All access granted, raw and real. And we have AJ Jackson here, and we'll see you guys on the next one.